All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker of Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm in with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Very good.
We have with us Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to having a fabulous discussion with you, Frazier. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many experienced realtors. We have been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for 50 years.
50 years. Wow. During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you may have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab. We have a live webcam on the roof, and you can see what's going on at Dunmore Corners.
View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to jruddy.com, mobile-friendly jruddy.com, and check us out on social media. We're pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram. Okay, Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. You are an interior designer. How long have you been doing what you do?
I am 20 years now.
Wow.
So that's quite a bit of time. And I mean, I know I look like I'm 20, but it's that's not true. So it's been 20 years now. I started out, I worked for Ethan Allen initially in Dixon City when they were there for 12 years. And then I worked for Penn Furniture for about 4 years. And then left there and opened my own
Nice
interior design business.
I want to talk about, so then, you've seen things come and go,
Yes,
and come
of
and
course.
go, and then, of course, come back.
And come back again.
Right. So,
Because I'm that old. Come back again.
let's talk about trends. What's
All right,
trending in interior design these days? What's going on?
Awesome. Let's talk about trends because I think trends are fun and they're, I think, a great thing for someone to pursue. But I think you should do it with a tempered palette, so to speak. Because if you go extremely trend, then you're going to have to change everything in a
It's out in
couple of
5
years.
minutes.
But if that's your thing, and I have clients who are like that, and they want to be current all the time, they don't have an issue with changing things.
Well, then they don't have an issue with money.
Right. Well, there's that side of it too. And that's the other side. So,
Most do.
Right. My advice would be really blending both, like take that trend, but then, integrate a few classic pieces in or a classic feel in the space. So that way, when the trend changes, you can change and it's not so much of a financial hit for you.
Mm-hmm.
But, but I really feel like that's where a design professional comes into play.
Sure.
They can help you when you actually save a ton of money by having a professional help guide you through that whole process.
It's like real estate.
Yeah, and it's exactly like real estate.
Right.
In that respect, you have a professional.
We can walk into a room in a kitchen, and we can tell you when the kitchen is from. There was a house around the corner from us, and it was orange. I don't know. My son makes fun of the way I say that. Yeah. But orange countertops. I mean, it was.
That's the Brady's. Ooh. Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And it was all functional and it was all intact. But I was like, I could not live with this.
Wow, it's wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
I was like,
really wild. It reminds me of the house I grew up in.
Or tile, or color of appliances or color of tile or size of tile. You could usually date. You could
definitely date it by tile, by not only style but application of the tile, size of the tile. If you go back into those houses, let's talk about the 70s and 80s, right? Those tiles were all 6x6s. Remember terracotta? Those reddy orange tiles were everywhere. And even if, then move into like the 80s, they all became, off white. But again, it was that 6x6 inch square. Now they moved into just a foot or whatever. And even bigger. Usually when if I'm doing new construction for somebody, or if they bought a house, they're renovating the kitchen, I usually go way, way bigger with the tile.
Sure.
18, 24-inch tiles, that kind of thing.
Well, something that doesn't seem like it's ever gone out of style, and it could be really, really old, is subway tile.
I was just going to bring that up, Jackie. Roddy, get out of my head.
Yes.
I swear. It's on my topic list. Because the great thing about, so you can be on trend because subway tile's hot. It's been hot for 10 years or more.
What is subway tile?
But subway tile,
for a guy like me.
if you
It's not a 6x6.
right, a 6x6, it's usually about a 6x3. It varies a little bit in size, but it's called subway tile because if you literally, Pat, you're originally from New York.
Right.
You go down the subway, all that white tile, those rectangular
Yes,
tiles,
yes.
subway tile.
All right, so you put
There
it on
it
the
is.
wall, so it's all on the
Yeah,
walls.
yeah. So you put it all on the walls. But the smart things I think that you can do to kind of make it your own and not have it be so predictable. Because now, and I love subway tile, but again, it's been on trend for about a decade. So when I go in and I see it just laid straight, like you normally see it, right, in its horizontal application, I go, oh, it's beautiful, but it's really not that special because it's so redundant. It's so seen. But if you just take that tile and now you want to maybe flip it and run it horizontally, run it diagonally, which is really impactful, or herringbone. Herringbone it is, if you herringbone it, you're going to have a fantastic look for a long, long time. And different sizes. You can now get those elongated subway feel tiles, but you can get them, in like a 10x3, which is a much longer tile. But so if you do that, you get a more dramatic effect. And you also get a little less visual activity on your wall, which can be a good thing. If you have a small space, and here's a little tip for everybody. If you have a small space and you say you do that herringbone tile, pick the bigger, longer ones. Don't pick the little ones because you have a little kitchen. Pick the large ones. It's going to make your space open up and look larger. If you put the small tiles, you get too much visual activity. There's way too many grout lines, and now it becomes too busy visually. The larger tiles calm the space, and they open it up and make it look larger.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, you would think the opposite.
You would think the opposite, and the
At least
opposite
I
is
would.
not
I mean, I don't mean you. I mean me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so ideas like that. But again, that's why you would want to call in a professional and just have them consult you and guide you, so that you can make smart choices like that. Because if you do a tile in that application, you're going to have a tile backsplash that's going to be timeless.
You're not going to get sick of it.
You're not going to get sick of it.
It's not-
always going to look great. You can evolve paint colors and things around it to stay on trend. One of the best things to do to stay on trend is to go with a great current paint color. Because
Well-
that's such an easy change, right? Like we can change that in a weekend.
Funny,
Right.
but get out of my head, Frazier.
How about it, Jackie
You
Ruddy?
were in my head.
We are so simpatico, Jackie Ruddy.
But I have with me,
Yeah.
and you may even know this, Sherwin-Williams
Oh,
unveils
yes.
2021 color of
Yes,
the
they
year.
did.
Do we see Pat on the edge of his seat?
Oh,
I
my
do.
God.
I do.
Me and the
Calm down,
producer-
Pat. Calm down.
Please, please.
Calm down.
Me and the producer are trying to see.
I know.
All right. So do you know what it is, Frazier?
I do. It's urban bronze.
Okay.
And Jackie did slip me a paper to cheat, but I just read this.
Yeah.
I was on their site because they also, at Sherwin-Williams, downloaded. You can go on your phone, go to Sherwin-Williams, you can download this, and you take your phone, your great little iPhone, and you open it up to your camera, and you can put any paint color in their entire Sherwin-Williams palette on your wall.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I used to
literally
have to go to the paint
amazing.
store,
You don't
get
have-
the
no.
swatches,
Yeah.
and then stand and try to figure it
Right.
out with the correct lighting.
You literally can, and as you can scan your room, and it applies the paint color to every inch of wall. I don't know how it does it, because I'm not techie.
Right.
I don't care how it does it, because it's fantastic.
It's wonderful.
It's amazing. It's a wonderful thing, and Sherwin-Williams does it.
Okay.
But urban bronze is their color, which I'm happy about, because as we, I think anybody kind of in the know with design is aware of, gray is the new black. Gray has been the new black for so many years now. It's such a hot color, but the trend is starting to turn. So
This is new.
they're evolving that color. So like this urban bronze is actually in the gray family, but it's a deeper tone, right? It's a little charcoaly. It's a little deep, dark taupe, right?
Right.
So they took that gray that we're seeing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and they started to evolve it. So that's how you're going to see that trend kind of take on a new face. And now the other great trend that I'm thrilled about, speaking in terms of paint colors, is color is coming back. Mark my words, people. Write this down. You heard it here first. Color's coming back, and you're going to see it, but you're going to see it in a combination of colors like urban bronze. You're going to do that, but then on not even like don't say accent wall because I'll have to slap you. But like at least do 2 walls in one color and 2 walls in another. Or think about if you have some great built-ins, right? If they're already painted, what you want to do with them. So then take like that great urban bronze, but then maybe paint your built-ins another great color that could pop, like a bright robin's egg blue, something like that can create that creates like a calming effect, but it gives you a more visual interest in the space, right? But use that color, like this urban bronze is a great backdrop. So use it as your main color, but then find some other ways to integrate some of the other great colors to pop again. Because like teal is big right now.
Yes.
And navy, painted cabinetry is huge. It's all the rage, right? But you want to kind of combine those things. Like don't just do the whole room in navy cabinets. Do like one stretch of wall, but then your island could be the bronze. And then your walls could be that bronze as well. Right? You see how you pulled that together?
Yes.
Your walls are that color, but the center island is that color as well. But all the back cabinetry is navy.
Got it.
Yeah, so you have a great look. It's beautiful. It's cohesive, but it has visual interest. So I'm happy to see gray evolve because of what I do. I go into so many houses, and I was getting really tired of it.
Well, it can be
so I'm happy that it's taken on a new
institutional
face.
too.
It can be institutional, and it can be. And gray's a funny animal. I always advise my clients to choose a gray that in its color makeup has a silver or something in the background to give it vibrancy. Because, that beautiful platinum-y gray can turn into, cement walls in a second.
Well,
And that's what you want to step away from.
I was thinking of him.
Okay, go
we
ahead.
had a tenant who
What?
he painted the funky color, and I was like, "Listen, you got to bring it back to the color I wanted." So he was all pissed, and he ended up in Battleship high gloss navy gray. Oh yeah, it was great. He painted over the switch plates. He painted over the outlets, and it was high gloss.
Was he a painter by trade?
I don't know.
No. He
That was his living room.
I think it was,
Wow.
I think he was going for the cave look.
I think he was going
whatever.
for the institutional look, but he was familiar with
Well,
that.
and that's like a bit macabre, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you have no idea.
Yeah. No.
But this urban bronze that Sherwin-Williams unveiled was chosen, and it's, I think, very timely, for a sense of calm, stability, and connection with the natural world.
Right.
And I think we all need that right now. In this
We all do need
environment.
it.
Yeah, right. So that's what it's there for. Now,
I would be in heavy agreement with that.
as you talk about the urban bronze and the navy, I'm thinking, and I don't know, maybe someone else out there that's listening may have thought this as well. Are we going too dark? Does that make our room or our...
No, and here's another tip, kids. So I hope you have your pens out. Here's the key with dark colors, right? Because I'm a fan, but you have to light the space. The dark color is wrong when you don't light the space. It has to be lit correctly. You need 3-point lighting. You need lighting up at your ceiling. You need it down at like eye level, and then you need it to drop again to like a table level. So think in this scenario of, ceiling light.
Chandelier.
Or chandelier, right? And then standing lamp, a floor lamp, and a table lamp. You want to bring that lighting down in 3 places. And if the room's lit correctly, then what you have is a deep, rich, dramatic color. And it doesn't get dark and dowdy, Just like people always feel like, if it's a small space, you can't paint it a dark color. You certainly can. You just have to light it.
We had a house close to where we live, and it was for sale. And boy, oh boy, did they go in on the 80s. They had a blood red living room.
Oh, they dove in deep.
Huh? Oh, yeah. They
right
had
off the deep end.
Kelly Green.
Go big or go home.
Kelly Green bathroom on the second floor and
Wow.
and black. Toilet and tub. And I was like, oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I needed some drama.
So they
I didn't know what was going on.
They liked dark, but when they're selling a house, those colors may not resonate with or appeal with.
Well, selling a house is different. That's a whole different animal than designing a space for you to live
in. Yes,
it's a very different animal.
Very different.
Because I've helped people stage houses, which is not the cornerstone of my business, but I've done it. And as you probably have said a million times on this show, I'm guessing, you need to depersonalize that space.
Absolutely.
Depersonalize it, right?
Yes.
You want that person to walk in and feel like, oh, I could live here.
And neutral.
Neutral.
To the point where it sounds like we overstate it and it sounds really boring. But again, and yes.
But that is how you sell a house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Because it has to appeal to the masses.
It has to appeal to the masses, correct.
Right.
Correct.
You don't know who your buyer is.
Somebody can have their own vision, but then somebody, then that buyer who purchases that house can then go out and, hire a fantastic designer from Infinite Interiors to help them make it theirs, but it should be depersonalized and it should be neutral. Because, again, it appeals to the masses, yeah.
What's happening with the trends in window treatments?
Well, in window treatments, I feel like what I always want to help people do is sometimes that's all you need is a privacy layer if it's addressed correctly, because people, I feel, can drop the ball in this area. It's a tricky area, right? Roman shades are hot now. They're all the rage. They come in a few different styles: flat Roman, hobbled Romans, that kind of thing. But my advice to somebody, if that's going to be your only layer and you're not going to do a drapery on the ends or something in that respect, is then you want to do something really special with that Roman. Don't just do a beige Roman or a gray Roman and throw it up. Especially in its down position, it looks like you threw a sheet on the wall. It's like you're back in a dorm room.
Right.
So you really want to go to somebody, get nice custom banding put around it, really make it yours and make it part of the room, because it is part of the room. You always want to think of a room as a team, and every player has got to do its part or it doesn't work. So you can't just throw that up on the wall and think, oh, it's fine. It's not going to be just fine. It's not going to give you the space or the aesthetic that you're striving to hit. So you really want to just think about how you could personalize that a little bit. And it could be just a touch of trim, or maybe having two different fabrics involved in the Roman to give it more interest and to make it more yours and make it fit into the space aesthetically, rather than just, another beige one that you picked up off the rack somewhere, And who wants that? Do you even know what off the rack means? No. Sorry.
I do.
Yeah.
I do know what it means. I do.
Okay.
But so that would be my suggestion. And always then the other big part is another designer tip. And if you look at any treatment that a designer does, they standardly go ceiling to floor, and they usually break on the floor. They always brush the floor. They never hang an inch off the floor. They always break, like a good pair of hemmed pants or something. There's always going to be at least a break in that, so it should brush the floor. And there's a reason for that, and the reason is because then when your eye travels across that room, it goes across the floor, it hits that drapery, and it climbs all the way up to the ceiling. It will actually make it'll make your ceilings look higher, make your rooms look bigger.
Wow.
And you always want to work sill out, not sill in. People have a tendency, and I see it all the time. You guys probably see it if you think about it, because you go into so many houses, and they'll take the window treatments down, and they'll leave the rods.
Yes.
And the rod is just where the window casing is, which is a mistake. You always want to work from the sill out, not the sill in.
Okay.
And that will widen out your windows and make them look larger. And then if you want that drapery to close, you just put it on a traverse rod, it'll close. But in its open position, it should only cover about an inch or two of glass, and then the trim, and then really move out onto the wall, and you'll double the size of your window. So they tend to make that mistake all the time. They keep that casing right on the sill. So that's something you want to kind of step around, because you can have such a better look in a space, a much stronger dramatic impression if you just move those off the windows.
Love the tips. Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. You are an interior designer for 20 years. How does someone get in touch with you?
You can reach me at 570-933-0495, or you can email me at scottfrazier1970@gmail.com.
Thank you, Scott.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Jackie.
Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes, we have a 2-bedroom home at 220 North Everett Avenue in Scranton for only $66,000. You could own this home for less than you are currently paying in rent. This home, and it's got a large master bedroom with vaulted ceilings. It's got a neat-in kitchen. It has a large living room, a convenient first-floor laundry, and taxes of only $1,600 a year. This home, it's in move-in condition, and it would be a perfect starter home. That's a 2-bedroom, move-in condition home at 220 North Everett Avenue in Scranton for only $66,000, and that's listed by Gail Lewis of our office.
It's break time. We'll be back in a little bit with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 The Talker.
The talented team of professionals at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. They're not just real estate agents, they're agents of change. They're on a never-ending quest for the best for you and your family. They can help you find precisely what you want at this time in your life. A computer, a website, an app, and a listing by itself can't do that. They're obsessed with better and deliver extraordinary, embracing the what if, not just the what's been done before, with a level of accountability and honesty not found anywhere else in the real estate industry. Don't settle for average, okay, or just all right. This change in your life is monumental, and there's only one Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate that will help you rock that change. Call 570-344-6724 and visit jruddy.com, JRUDDY.com. Each Century 21 office is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker. And with Pat Devaney, my husband, Phil, realtor.
And we're back. We're having too much fun.
We're having a lot of fun. Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. You are an interior designer for 20 years.
I am an interior designer for 20 years.
That's great.
I do own Infinite Interiors.
And the first half of the show, we talked about a lot of things. Paint colors.
We talked about paint colors. We talked about window treatments. We talked about
lighting, bathroom tile,
color palettes,
kitchen cabinets.
Yep.
Okay. What's trending with the younger folks, the younger generation?
From what I'm seeing, and I never thought I would see it in a million years, but here it is. And they're loving a boho 70s look is all the rage. Open any magazine, in any catalog, from like Pottery Barn or anything like that, and you're going to see it. And it's huge, macrame plant hangers, wicker furniture. Whoever thought the apartment from Three's Company would be in vogue, but here it is, right? But
and what's boho?
It means bohemian.
Oh,
because it's more earthy and natural. That's why you see a lot of woven wickers and things of that respect.
Yeah, but wicker is not like, I'm afraid of sitting on it. It's going to crunch underneath me.
Well, Pat,
I'm not a big fat guy either.
Right. But just things like that, things that are more natural and earthy. A lot of plants, they love a lot of plants all over the place. But there's a twist to it. This time around, like everything, when it comes back in vogue, there's always a change. It alters a little bit. So it's fused with farmhouse, which is big. Throw up some shiplap walls, and they're thrilled with that. And it feeds into that look, right? But you can fuse it with that and some industrial pieces. Think of galvanized tables or trays, things like that. They really work in well with that kind of a look, but it also evolves that look and it makes it current and not exactly the same look it was back in the 70s. You can pull some vintage pieces, but bring them in that environment, but then blend in the new farmhouse pieces or the industrial pieces with those vintage 70s pieces to bring them all current.
And that's the look that they're...
That's a big hot look for that for the younger
they
people.
want, okay.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Okay. How about kitchen countertops? What's trending with those?
Well, concrete's a big deal, and we love concrete. Of course, quartz, granite, they're the big daddies, right? Yeah. And I love a waterfall countertop, which is wonderful. It's when the countertop runs across the top of the counter, of course, but then it drops down the sides and goes to the floor. They do it with quartz. They do it with stone. It's absolutely
amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's big in countertops. A lot of, not in countertops, we don't do tile, but like in backsplashes. And then in flooring, one of the other big trends right now is printed tile, which we all remember this from the 70s. But, printed tile is very hot right now. So you're going to see it in colors and patterns and things like that, which, it's really, really on trend right now.
Wood flooring still big.
Wood flooring still big, always will be big. It changes. Now you have variation in plank sizes all within one room and one floor.
Dark, light, middle.
Dark, light. Dark was big for a long time,
Right.
and that's starting to go away.
Okay.
But dark was big for a very long time. A lot of hand planing is big. And they'll hand plane it, they'll distress it heavily, but that moves back into that, that could be a farmhouse kind of a flavor to that kind of a floor.
Last time we had you on, I remember talking about distressed pieces and
Yes.
furniture.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
It's still very much a thing,
Okay.
and they're doing it it's still a thing. Now I think with the turn to painted cabinetry, now painted cabinetry these days has shied away from that. That was big in cabinetry for a long time in kitchens. You'd see a rub through, that kind of thing. That's not really on trend anymore. Now it's really more of a solid color. You might see a hang-up glaze, but you won't see a rub through in
What's a hang-up?
You wouldn't.
See, I don't know what this stuff is.
A hang-up glaze is like if my cabinet's painted white or cream, then once the paint is dry, they take a glaze and they wipe it over the cabinet and you wipe it all off. So any of your trim work that's a little bit intricate or has a little bead to it, that darker glaze is going to hang up on any of those recesses.
Okay,
So it gives it an immediate warmth and aged kind of a look.
Nice. Okay, so in cabinets,
Yep.
everything I read still says white.
White rules. White's a huge color in cabinetry. Again, I think because you can build on it. Like when I see a white cabinetry in a kitchen, I'm thrilled because it's foundational. It really is. Then your island can be a different color, or you could do something, really wild with your countertops, but those white-based cabinets are such a foundational piece to build on. Those can stay. Your paint colors around it can change and things like that, but the cabinetry can stay. So invest in good cabinetry. I can't say that enough.
Quality.
Quality, good cabinetry. Make sure it's dovetailed. Make sure that it's you have nice thick sidewalls to your drawers, that they have a good wooden drawer base. You really want to invest in good cabinetry because it can take you because good cabinetry can be redone, and you don't and that's a much smaller hit on your wallet than replacing all your cabinets.
And you can change the look of the room, like the colors all the
change the
time,
look.
as you get bored. And
Yeah, always,
Even the
always.
hardware on the cabinets.
Right, which that's another turn that I'm seeing a trend coming into play now is hardware is starting to kind of go away, not totally, but there's a new wave of integrated pulls in your cabinetry. So it's part of the cabinet door or drawer, the pull, as opposed to have it being like a metal piece that's screwed onto the face.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it might be just like a little finger niche underneath to grab and pull the drawer out, but a lot of them are integrated in now. So that's a new thing that you're going to see come really, really big in cabinetry.
Loved talking to you about the trends in interior design. Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
They can get in touch with me through my phone. It's 570-933-0495. Or you can reach me through my email, which is scottfrazier1970@gmail.com. Infinite Interiors, changing the world one room at a time, Jackie.
All right. Would you come back and change my world next week?
I certainly will.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
It was
Frazier.
a great time, you guys.
Pat?
Yes, we have a spacious 4-bedroom, 2-bath home on a lovely tree-lined street at 405 Luzerne Avenue in West Pittston Township for $135,000. This lovely home, it's got beautiful hardwood floors, modern kitchens and baths, a first-floor laundry room, an enclosed sunroom, and a walk-up attic for additional storage. All of this is on a lovely 40 by 110 lot with low taxes of less than $2,000 a year. That's a move-in condition 4-bedroom, 2-bath home at 405 Luzerne Avenue in West Pittston Township for $135,000. And that's listed by Gail Lewis of our office.
Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 The Talker.